Zuckerberg's hidden island bunker, a $2 billion tower in Mumbai, a mansion with its own nightclub. These billionaire homes are unreal. This towering marvel is called Antilia, and it's owned by Asia's richest man, Mukesh Ambani. The number floating around this home? $2 billion. You've heard it right. This isn't just a luxury house with a big garden and a few extra rooms. Antilia is 27 floors high and built to survive an earthquake that would flatten most buildings. From the outside, it looks like a futuristic palace stacked like giant Lego blocks. Inside, it's like a different world. Think 3 helipads, a ballroom with chandeliers so heavy the ceiling had to be reinforced, a theater that seats 50, an ice room that literally snows, and a full-service spa. There's also a temple, several pools, a yoga studio, a bar, and 9 elevators. And here's something that'll raise your eyebrows. Over 600 staff are employed full-time just to keep this mega home running. That's more than the number of people working in some small businesses. To put things into perspective, Antilia's value is nearly twice that of Buckingham Palace. And unlike many other billionaire homes that sit on private beaches or mountaintops, this one is squeezed into one of the busiest urban areas on Earth, which makes it even more mind-blowing. Fun fact, the Ambani family doesn't even use all of it. Several floors remain mostly empty. That's right, billion-dollar views, luxury interiors, and entire sections that barely see any footsteps. This skyscraper mansion isn't just about money, it's about making a statement. It's luxury without limits, and it's real. You can Google it, but even pictures don't do it justice. And remember, this is only the beginning. Wait until you see what else is on this list. Next up is a house so massive it was literally called The One, built in Bel Air, Los Angeles, where luxury is the default. This place was meant to be the ultimate billionaire trophy home. Originally priced at $500 million, The One spans 105,000 square feet. That's bigger than most shopping malls. It has 21 bedrooms, 42 bathrooms, a nightclub, a 4-lane bowling alley, and a 50-seat theater. There's even a room dedicated just to storing jelly beans. Not kidding. The infinity pool alone could host a small yacht. And from almost every window, you get sweeping views over Los Angeles, the Pacific, and beyond. The property was developed by Niall Niami, a former film producer turned real estate dreamer. He pushed boundaries and budgets to make The One happen. The problem? It went way over budget and got tangled in legal drama, which made headlines for months. At one point, it was in foreclosure, but the house still stands, towering over Bel Air like a spaceship dropped into the hills. Despite its bumpy journey, The One shows what happens when someone tries to build a literal house of the future. Multiple elevators, a sky deck, walls made entirely of glass. Everything about it screams extreme. Whether it's genius or madness depends on who you ask, but there's no question. This mansion is unforgettable. And if you think this is the most over-the-top property on the list, wait until you hear about a billionaire who bought a slice of untouched paradise, dug underground, and maybe, just maybe, built something the public wasn't supposed to know about. Now let's leave the hills of LA and head deep into the jungle. Hawaiian jungle, that is. This next one belongs to Mark Zuckerberg, who owns over 1,500 acres on the north shore of Kauai. Picture lush mountains, dramatic cliffs, and private beach access. No neighbors, no traffic, just nature and privacy. Zuckerberg bought this stretch of land in pieces, slowly assembling it into one of the most exclusive private compounds in the country. The entire setup is like something out of a sci-fi film. There are residential buildings, a working farm, and solar-powered infrastructure that keeps the place running mostly off-grid. But what really caught everyone's attention were the whispers and the blueprints. Rumors started circulating about a super-secure underground shelter being constructed beneath the estate. Some say it includes a blast-proof door, independent energy systems, and a tunnel network connecting multiple buildings. While nothing has been officially confirmed, permits filed with the county suggested massive excavation work far beyond a standard basement. And it doesn't stop there. The buildings above ground are said to include multiple bedrooms, spa areas, and even a lookout with views of the Pacific that stretch for miles. This estate isn't just about luxury, it's about being able to disappear. No city noise, no paparazzi, just Zuckerberg, his family, and a small number of hand-picked staff managing the entire thing. Whether it's a retreat, a bunker, or a tech billionaire's escape plan, one thing's for sure: this isn't your typical beach house. And speaking of coastal mansions, the next one belongs to a different tech mogul, one who went straight for old-school elegance on the shores of Florida. Just down the coast in one of Florida's most luxurious zip codes sits the kind of estate that doesn't just show wealth, it broadcasts it. This oceanfront palace belongs to Larry Ellison, co-founder of Oracle and, yeah, one of the richest men on the planet. In classic Ellison style, he didn't just buy a beachfront home, he bought a 16-acre compound in Manalapan for a staggering $173 million. This estate stretches from the Atlantic Ocean all the way to the intra-coastal waterway. That's right, you get sunrise and sunset views. The main house is over 60,000 square feet and built with coral stone, giving it the look of a Mediterranean fortress, but with ultra-modern interiors. Think marble everything, vaulted ceilings, and an entrance that looks more like a five-star resort than someone's home. It doesn't stop at the main residence. There's also a guest house, 2 beachside cottages, and a private dock that could fit more than a few million-dollar yachts. And while most of us think a pool is a luxury, this place has multiple. Not to mention manicured gardens, a tennis court, and even its own stretch of private beach. Ellison has a history of buying jaw-dropping homes. He's practically collecting them. But this Palm Beach estate might be his most refined acquisition yet. It's not flashy in the usual sense. There are no glass walls or neon lighting. It's quiet power, the kind that doesn't need to shout. Still, for anyone flying overhead or cruising by, there's no question, whoever lives here is operating in a completely different financial universe. And speaking of financial titans, let's head south to another tech legend who recently dropped serious cash on one of the most secretive islands in America. Welcome to Indian Creek Island, also known as Billionaire Bunker. It's one of the most exclusive neighborhoods in the United States, and it's where Jeff Bezos recently added to his real estate empire with a $147 million purchase. Indian Creek isn't just a gated community, it's a literal island with its own police force, golf course, and a population that includes some of the richest people alive. Bezos now owns multiple homes here, including a sprawling waterfront estate with private boat access and enough land to build an entire compound if he wants to. The home reportedly features sleek modern design, expansive windows that stretch from floor to ceiling, and interiors that reflect both minimalism and outrageous scale. While the exact square footage hasn't been confirmed, the lot size and price point suggest we're talking tens of thousands of square feet. What's most interesting about Bezos' new island retreat isn't just the size or design, it's the privacy. This is a guy who's spent decades being one of the most visible people in the world. Now, he's investing in quiet, secure, and deeply hidden real estate. Indian Creek fits that need perfectly. It's the kind of place where your neighbor might be Tom Brady, or Ivanka Trump, or another billionaire flying under the radar. And Jeff? He just landed a front row seat to that ultra-elite club. But if you think that's impressive, wait until you hear about the European villa so legendary, it once hosted kings, movie stars, and secret billion-dollar deals. Now we fly across the Atlantic to the French Riviera, where one of the most expensive and iconic homes in the world sits hidden among the cliffs. Welcome to Villa Leopolda, a $750 million estate in Villefranche-sur-Mer, a town where luxury is the baseline. This property has history, and not the dusty kind. It was originally built for Belgian King Leopold II in the early 1900s, and later hosted a stream of royalty, celebrities, and billionaires. The current owner is rumored to be one of the Safra banking heirs, and the villa itself looks more like a Mediterranean museum than a house. Perched on 18 acres of perfectly trimmed gardens, the estate includes 11 bedrooms, 14 bathrooms, a glass greenhouse, an outdoor kitchen, multiple swimming pools, and one of the best views of the Côte d'Azur money can buy. The gardens alone require over 50 full-time workers to maintain. The scale is hard to describe. From above, the villa is framed by sweeping terraces and century-old olive trees. Inside, the decor is everything you'd expect from a European palace. Ornate chandeliers, priceless art, and hand-carved furniture. It's not modern, it's not minimalist. It's luxury in its most classic, unapologetic form. It's also been a location for Hollywood films, and was once considered for purchase by Bill Gates. But what makes Villa Leopolda stand out isn't just the price, it's the aura. It's whispered about in billionaire circles. It's the kind of place where deals are made, away from headlines and cameras. Back in Beverly Hills, there's a property that feels more like a private resort than a home. It's called Palazzo Diamore, and for good reason. This estate is all about scale, elegance, and, honestly, excess. Originally owned by billionaire Jeff Green, the property was listed for $195 million, making it one of the priciest homes ever on the West Coast. The estate spans over 25 acres and features a 53,000 square foot main residence built in a Mediterranean style with sweeping staircases, marble floors, and formal ballrooms. Yes, plural. It has 12 bedrooms, 23 bathrooms, and a separate guest house. And then there's the 15,000 square foot entertainment complex, complete with a bowling alley, theater, wine cellar, and a private nightclub with a revolving dance floor. Outside, the estate is no less extravagant. A vineyard on the property produces its own private label wine. There are reflecting pools, waterfalls, and even a floating-style glass walkway. The views stretch from downtown Los Angeles to the Pacific Ocean. This mansion wasn't just built to live in, it was built to entertain at a level few people on Earth could imagine. Green once hosted a 4th of July party here with live orchestras, fireworks, and a guest list that included some of the biggest names in business in Hollywood. But even with all that flash, Palazzo Diamore hasn't always been easy to sell. Its massive size and custom design make it a tough match for the average billionaire. Still, its price tag and style keep it firmly in the spotlight. A real-world castle built in the middle of Los Angeles. Let's shift now from grand estates on hills to the sky-high heights of Manhattan, where the view is the luxury. When it comes to vertical luxury, this one stands above the rest, literally. The penthouse at 220 Central Park South is the most expensive residence ever sold in the United States. Hedge fund billionaire Kenneth Griffin paid $238 million for it, and it's not hard to see why. This triplex sits at the very top of one of Manhattan's most elite buildings, right on Billionaires Row. With nearly 24,000 square feet of living space, it stretches across multiple floors and offers uninterrupted views of Central Park, the Hudson River, and the entire skyline of New York City. Inside, the design is all about clean lines, natural light, and materials that whisper wealth: limestone, mahogany, custom stonework. There's a private elevator, a full-service kitchen the size of most apartments, and an outdoor terrace floating hundreds of feet in the air. The building itself offers everything a billionaire might want: valet parking, spa services, private dining rooms, and 24/7 staff ready to cater to nearly any request. This isn't just about living well. It's about owning space in one of the most exclusive vertical addresses on the planet. Griffin, known for snapping up record-breaking real estate across the globe, didn't flinch at the price. To him, this was just another strategic investment, one with a view no one else could claim. Next, we're going from steel and skyscrapers to the coast of Sydney, Australia, where history, heritage, and luxury come together in one spectacular waterfront property. Sitting on the edge of Sydney Harbour is a mansion that holds a special place in Australian real estate history. It's called Fairwater, and it became the most expensive house ever sold in the country when billionaire tech mogul Mike Cannon-Brookes bought it for $100 million. This isn't a modern glass palace. Fairwater is heritage listed, built in the 1880s and once home to some of Australia's most influential families. It has a timeless elegance: sandstone walls, sprawling verandas, and formal gardens that stretch down to the water. What makes Fairwater especially valuable isn't just the house itself, but the land. It sits on more than 2 acres in Point Piper, one of the most exclusive waterfront neighborhoods in Sydney. Views of the Sydney Opera House, Harbour Bridge, and open sea unfold right from the back lawn. The mansion features high ceilings, period detailing, multiple formal living and dining rooms, and a library. Despite its age, it's been modernized carefully to include all the comforts of a 21st century home without sacrificing its historic charm. Cannon-Brookes, co-founder of Atlassian, didn't buy this place just for show. He reportedly plans to raise his family here, combining old-world prestige with new-tech wealth. It's a rare move. A billionaire picking a home not just for investment, but for legacy. Next up, we're headed deep into the Rocky Mountains, where one billionaire built an entire alpine compound that feels more like a private national park than a residence. Hidden high in the Colorado mountains near Aspen, there's a billionaire retreat that, honestly, redefines what it means to live off the grid. And, in total luxury too. This alpine estate belongs to businessman Bill Koch, and, get this, it comes with a price tag of $125 million. But what makes it so special isn't just the number, it's what that number actually includes. This isn't just a single mansion. Nope. It's a full-blown compound, spread across more than 80 acres of forests, trails, and open meadows. At the center, you'll find a 16,000-square-foot lodge built in classic Western style, complete with exposed timber beams, stone fireplaces, and yeah, sweeping views of the Rockies. It's sort of like a luxury ski lodge crossed with a billionaire's playground. Surrounding the main lodge are several guest cabins, each with that same rustic elegance, plus amenities like hot tubs, a shooting range, a wine cellar, and even a saloon-style bar. During winter, the whole property turns into a snow-covered wonderland, and in the summer, it becomes this private hiking, horseback riding, and off-roading paradise. What's most fascinating, though, is just how quiet it all is. There are no helicopters buzzing, no paparazzi waiting at the gate, just trees, wildlife, and honestly, pure solitude. Koch built this place to be a sanctuary, far from headlines and flashing cameras. It's the kind of home you don't just visit, you disappear into. And from the mountain wilderness, let's now travel to a mansion that's, well, the exact opposite. Built by a man who's always been at the center of attention and designed to be one of the smartest homes on Earth. This home isn't just high-tech, it's practically a living computer. Meet Xanadu 2.0, Bill Gates' legendary mansion on the shores of Lake Washington. It's worth around $127 million, and every square inch of it was designed with one goal in mind: control. Spanning 66,000 square feet, this mega home is actually built into a hillside, so it blends into the natural environment while still feeling, futuristic. The house features a 60-foot swimming pool with an underwater music system, a 2,500 square foot gym, a massive library with a hidden bar, and even a trampoline room with 20-foot ceilings. But what really sets Xanadu 2.0 apart is its brain. Visitors wear electronic pins that adjust the temperature and lighting based on their preferences. The walls can display different artwork at the push of a button, and hidden sensors track movement, sound, and even humidity levels. Bill Gates started building this in the 90s, and honestly, even today, most smart homes can't compete. It was one of the first homes in the world to have an intelligent network connecting every system. It's not about flashing wealth, it's about designing how you live, down to the smallest detail. Despite the size and tech, the house isn't flashy from the outside, and that's intentional. Gates values privacy, and much of the home is underground or built right into the landscape. It's quiet, controlled, and incredibly complex, just like the man who built it. Now, from high-tech harmony, we're heading to the Hamptons for something a little different. A home that's so large it needs its own power plant. Out in Sagaponack, New York, lies a home so enormous, so private, and so packed with features, it almost feels like its own country. This is Fairfield Pond, owned by billionaire Ira Rennert. Estimated at $248 million, it's one of the largest private homes in the entire United States. The main house alone is over 60,000 square feet, and that doesn't even count the additional buildings on the 63-acre estate. Inside, there are 29 bedrooms, 39 bathrooms, a 91-foot-long dining room, a movie theater, and even a bowling alley. It also features a basketball court, squash courts, and a fully equipped gym. The scale of this property is, honestly, hard to wrap your head around. There's a private power plant that provides energy to the estate, not a generator, a full-on plant. That means no outages, ever. The gardens go on for acres, and there are several pools dotted across the grounds, including one indoors for year-round use. Rennert made his fortune in industrial investments, and when he built Fairfield Pond in the late 90s, it stirred up plenty of local controversy, mainly due to its size. But over time it became something of a legend in the Hamptons. A fortress of wealth hidden behind hedges, watched over by its own security team. It's the kind of place you could live in for years and still discover new rooms. A modern palace not just designed for comfort, but for domination of space. On London's legendary Billionaires' Row, officially known as the Bishop's Avenue, sits a mansion that blends classic architecture with billionaire-level upgrades. This is Heath Hall, a sprawling 25,000 square foot estate purchased by Czech billionaire Daniel Kretinsky for about $81.5 million. Originally built in 1910 for a baron of the Tate and Lyle sugar empire, the home looks like something pulled straight from an Edwardian film set. Red brick, grand arches, and a perfectly symmetrical facade greet you at the gates. But step inside, and it's anything but old-fashioned. Kretinsky, who made his fortune through energy, media, and football, brought modern luxury into the heart of this historic home. Heath Hall includes 14 bedrooms, multiple reception halls, a library, a wine cellar with room for 600 bottles, and, of course, an indoor swimming pool. There's also a spa complex, home theater and private gym, all seamlessly tucked into the traditional layout. What makes this place so valuable isn't just the size or the updates, it's the location. The Bishop's Avenue is one of the most expensive residential streets in the world, lined with embassies, royal residences, and homes that rarely hit the open market. Many of them sit behind high walls and massive hedges, and Heath Hall is no exception. Privacy here is practically built into the architecture. Interestingly, Heath Hall sat vacant for years before Kretinsky scooped it up, which only added to its mystique. At one point, it was even used as a film location due to its unique blend of luxury and old-world style. Now, it's a lived-in home again, and one of the most talked-about mansions in London's ultra-wealthy circles. This is the Manalapan Estate, a $150 million oceanfront masterpiece owned by billionaire hedge fund manager Chris Rokos. This estate isn't just beautiful, it's an experience. Spread across more than 15 acres between the Atlantic Ocean and the Intracoastal Waterway, the property offers something almost no one else can waterfront on both sides. You wake up to the sunrise over the ocean, then watch it set over the calm bay, all without leaving your yard. Inspired by Balinese architecture, the main residence and surrounding pavilions feature dark wood, stone carvings, lush landscaping and open-air walkways. There's a 35,000 square foot mansion with soaring ceilings, floor-to-ceiling windows and handcrafted details throughout. Every inch is designed for tranquility, but on a billionaire's scale. There's a full wellness wing with a spa, sauna and meditation spaces. A massive pool flows into a lagoon-style setup surrounded by palm trees. The guest homes are just as luxurious as the main house. And somewhere among all this tropical calm sits a private dock, ready for yachts. The landscaping deserves a mention of its own. It's a botanical paradise, with exotic plants, koi ponds, and stone pathways that twist through the property like a private garden from another world. What makes this estate different is how personal it feels. Despite the price, despite the size, it doesn't shout, it whispers. It's not about flash. It's about building a sanctuary that feels completely removed from the rest of the world. Whether it's a penthouse above Central Park, a smart house in Seattle, or a beach compound in Hawaii, these aren't just places to live. They're escapes, fortresses, fantasies turned into square footage. That's about it. Which of these mansions would you like to live in? Write in the comments. For more useful information, watch other videos.